after the 12 rounds, I won the fight. Like my analysis, like I won 8-4. That's my analysis for the fight. But the thing is, I'm surprised with the announcement. It's draw. Fight. But I thought.
I don't compare power like a lot. No, Pacquiao could definitely crack. Tank can definitely crack. It's one of the few fights where I've touched canvas. But yeah, that old man is strong as fuck.
Man, Pacquiao won that shit.
Yeah?
Pacquiao won that shit. I had it 9-2. Well, no, wait. I always wrong with these numbers. 10-2. I had it 10-2. Oh, you know what? 9-3. I always have it wrong with these numbers.
What'd you think about the fight? Why'd you think they won?
Velocity, like the amount of punches that were connecting, and then every last 10 seconds and stuff, he was just showing the more aggressive punches.
When legends return to the ring, the world stops to watch, and Manny Pacquiao's comeback against Mario Barrios was no exception. After 4 long years away from professional boxing, the Filipino icon stepped into the squared circle to face a younger, fresher opponent. The fight was ruled a draw, but not everyone agreed. In fact, many fighters, analysts, and fans voiced one resounding opinion: Manny Pacquiao should have won. Today, we break down what champions and boxing insiders had to say about this clash, and whether this decision robbed Manny of a triumphant return. Let's hear what the sports elite had to say, because when greatness speaks, we listen.
I know you enjoyed the fight, but I thought, although the decision is not really favor to me, like I'm sad.
After the final bell rang and the decision was announced as a draw, Manny Pacquiao addressed the crowd with heartfelt honesty. He didn't argue or lash out. Instead, he expressed a quiet sadness, a dignified disappointment. Despite putting on a strong performance, he acknowledged that the judges didn't see the fight in his favor. This moment tells us so much about Pacquiao's character. At 46, returning after a 4-year break, he had nothing to prove. Yet he came out to fight with the same hunger, and when the results didn't match his expectations, he humbly accepted it. It highlights not just a fighter's mentality, but a champion's grace under pressure. In a world where controversies spark outrage, Pacquiao remained calm. His reaction sets the tone for the whole discussion. It's not about ego, it's about legacy, effort, and heart. This moment also became the foundation for why so many champions later rallied behind him, because they didn't just see a fighter, they saw a warrior who still had it in him.
But I did my best. Being a no fight for 4 years, I'm happy for my performance tonight.
In his post-fight comments, Pacquiao acknowledged the challenge of returning to the ring after such a long hiatus. He pointed out that despite 4 years away, he was content with how he performed. That in itself is an incredible feat. 4 years out of boxing at age 46 is more than a sabbatical. It's a lifetime in fight years. But Pacquiao didn't just show up. He gave Barrios all he could handle. While age may have slightly dulled his speed or stamina, it couldn't touch his timing, his power, or his fight IQ. This quote highlights how much respect Manny still commands. It takes a different kind of discipline to not only stay fit, but to come back and compete at the highest level. Many comebacks are symbolic, but Manny's wasn't just symbolic, it was competitive. His words reflect a quiet confidence, almost like he knew he had done enough to win. He wasn't angry, just surprised. And when someone as seasoned as Pacquiao says he's happy with his performance, you take notice.
After the 12 rounds, I won the fight. Like my analysis, like I won 8-4. That's my analysis for the fight. But the thing is, I'm surprised with the announcement. It's draw.
In the same press conference, Manny broke down how he personally scored the fight. 8 rounds to 4 in his favor. This wasn't just a gut feeling. This was the breakdown of someone who's fought elite fighters across 4 decades. For him to say he's surprised by the draw speaks volumes about the disparity between what he saw in the ring and what the judges ruled. And let's be honest, he wasn't the only one shocked. When a fighter has that kind of command over the bout, outlanding, outworking, and outmaneuvering his opponent, they expect to win. This moment moment again raises the age-old question in boxing. What are the judges watching? Manny's self-assessment wasn't egotistical. It was based on his precise in-ring analysis. He felt he dictated most of the rounds, and based on how many connected punches he threw and his ring generalship, he believed he edged out the win clearly. This quote forms the emotional core of the debate. If the fighter himself and most of the community believes he won, then why didn't the judges?
I don't compare power like a lot. No, Pacquiao could definitely crack. Tank can definitely crack. It's one of the few fights where I've touched canvas. But yeah, that old man is strong as fuck.
Even Barrios, Manny's opponent, gave credit where it was due. He openly admitted that Pacquiao still cracks, that even at 46, his punches had legitimate sting. Coming from a younger, active fighter, that's high praise. Barrios even said that the fight marked one of the few times he touched the canvas in his career, highlighting how dangerous Pacquiao still is. That acknowledgement changes the narrative entirely. It's easy to dismiss an older fighter as just showing flashes of his past, but when your opponent confirms you've still got knockout-level power, it cements your status as still being in the mix. Barrios didn't sugarcoat anything. He didn't make excuses. He confirmed what many fans felt watching the fight. Manny still had pop, still had explosiveness, and wasn't just hanging on for legacy. That kind of feedback from the man who shared the ring with him is perhaps more valuable than any judge's scorecard.
Oh, easy from round one. As soon as he started letting his punches go, he was solid.
Barrios went on to say that Pacquiao's presence was immediate. From the very first round, he could feel the difference. Something about the way Manny let his punches go, how solid his shots were. That's not just a comment on strength. That's about presence, about experience, about making your opponent feel uncomfortable right from the start. Barrios realized early that this wasn't going to be a slow, tired veteran just looking for one final moment. Manny came out ready to fight, and it shocked Barrios. It speaks to Manny's preparation. He didn't come to survive. He came to compete. That kind of pressure from an aging fighter isn't just admirable. It's rare. Most comebacks feel cautious. Manny's felt aggressive, sharp, and deliberate. This quote reminds us that from the opening bell, Pacquiao made it clear he wasn't there for a ceremonial goodbye. He was there to win, and Barrios could feel that intensity immediately. In a deeper reflection, Barrios broke down the technical brilliance behind Manny's punches. He didn't just talk about power. He explained where that power comes from. The angles, the timing, and the unpredictable footwork. Even when Pacquiao looked off balance, his punches still carried weight and danger. That detail is what separates great fighters from legends. Barrios acknowledged how deceptive Pacquiao is in the ring. What appears to be a misstep is actually a setup. What looks like a retreat is actually a trap. His movement confuses opponents, and even at 46, that signature style hadn't lost its edge. This level of analysis from Barrios gives us insight into what it feels like to face a ring genius. Manny's style may seem chaotic, but there's method to every jab, every shift, every dash in and out. It's not just muscle memory, it's the muscle memory of a master. And for Barrios to admit that he felt the power behind punches coming from unorthodox angles, that's proof that Manny still has the tools to outclass even the sharpest contenders today.
Manny Pacquiao outpunched that man, outlanded that man. Honestly, a split decision. Pacquiao, if anything, if they're going to judge it like that, I give it Manny Pacquiao a split decision.
Gary Antoine Russell didn't mince words. To him, the outcome was obvious. Pacquiao outpunched and outlanded Barrios. He went so far as to say that if there was to be a split decision, it should have leaned in Manny's favor. Gary's opinion matters because he's not just a spectator. He's a current fighter with sharp eyes and ring awareness. He knows what to look for: volume, accuracy, control. And by his assessment, Pacquiao ticked all those boxes. The words outpunched and outlanded are critical. They signify who controlled the action. Judges are supposed to score based on clean, effective punching, ring generalship, defense, and hard blows. If a respected fighter like Russell observed Manny winning those battles, it raises legitimate concerns about the judging. His take aligns with the fans' outcry and reinforces the growing belief that the draw was unjustified. Russell's analysis gives weight to the idea that Manny didn't just keep up with a younger opponent, he outworked him in almost every category.
I'm very impressed. A lot of people thought that his old age was going to catch up with him, and it definitely showed that it didn't.
Russell added a powerful observation. Many expected Manny's age to be his downfall, but that simply didn't happen, and he's right. The narrative going into this fight was centered on Pacquiao's age. Could he still move? Could he take punches? Could he keep up? All those questions were answered emphatically in the ring. Manny didn't look like a 46-year-old man trying to hang on. He looked like a world-class fighter with something left to prove. Russell's admiration isn't just about nostalgia. It's rooted in respect for the performance itself. The takeaway here is that experience and mastery can, in some cases, eclipse youth and momentum. Manny shattered expectations and made us question the very idea of age as a limiter in boxing. It wasn't just about defying time, it was about redefining it. That's what makes his performance and the questionable draw so frustrating for so many.
He should be really dominating Pacquiao, but I don't think he's an elite welterweight.
Promoter Eddie Hearn took a different angle. He didn't just praise Pacquiao, he questioned Barrios. According to him, if Barrios was supposed to be an elite welterweight, he should have dominated an aging legend. But that didn't happen. In fact, it was the opposite. This comment flips the entire conversation. Instead of wondering whether Pacquiao still has it, Hearn forces us to ask whether Barrios ever had it at all, at least at this level. The implication is clear. If you're in your prime and fighting a 46-year-old who hasn't fought in 4 years, you should be winning convincingly. That didn't happen. Hearn's comment indirectly strengthens Pacquiao's case, because if Barrios is who we thought he was, and he barely escaped with a draw, then Pacquiao's performance was even more impressive. It changes the conversation from "is Manny still elite?" to "was Barrios exposed?" It's a sharp critique that adds another layer to the controversy.
Man, Pacquiao won that shit.
Yeah?
Pacquiao won that shit. I had it 9-2. Well, no, wait. I always wrong with these numbers. 10-2. I had it 10-2.
Yeah,
Oh, you know what?
right,
9-3,
right.
9-3. I always have it wrong with these numbers.
What'd you think about the fight? Why'd you think Manny won?
Velocity, like the amount of punches that were connecting, and then every last 10 seconds and stuff, he was just showing the more aggressive punches.
Teofimo Lopez didn't sugarcoat his opinion. In his mind, Manny Pacquiao clearly won by a margin of 9-3. That's not a close call. That's domination. Teofimo pointed out how many of Manny's punches were connecting, and how, in the last 10 seconds of each round, he brought the heat with aggressive combinations. That matters a lot. Judges are human. They remember what happens at the start and end of rounds. When a fighter finishes strong, it leaves a lasting impression. Teofimo's scoring reflects how a lot of people watched that fight, not just through numbers, but through energy, aggression, and command. If an active fighter like Lopez sees a 9-3 margin, it reinforces that this wasn't some tight technical chess match. It was a fight where one man consistently did more. Lopez's opinion mirrors what fans have been saying all along. This wasn't just a good comeback, it was a winning performance, one that deserved to be rewarded on the scorecards, not just in applause. After powerful testimonies from inside the boxing world, one truth becomes hard to ignore. Manny Pacquiao didn't lose this fight in the eyes of most. He returned after 4 years at the age of 46, took on a hungry, active fighter in Barrios, and delivered a performance that shook the boxing world. From outlanding his opponent to drawing respect from Barrios himself, Manny proved that greatness doesn't fade, it evolves. While the decision on paper says draw, the sentiment in the boxing community tells a different story. Barrios had opportunities. He could have walked Manny down, imposed youth, and overwhelmed an older fighter, but he didn't. Instead, Pacquiao stood tall, boxed like a legend, and made believers out of skeptics. So, the next time we question whether a fighter is too old, we might just need to remember this night. If you're a true boxing fan and love hearing the raw, unfiltered takes of champions, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Only here on Boxy Hub, where the ring speaks louder than the judges.